Alright, I am back. Yeah, I'm actually taking a look. Yeah, exact. I'm looking at that myself. And yeah, and also like the track map of Hanoi, and it's like technically I think it's 23 turns, so this is like a really really big challenge. Yeah, I mean in the blink of an eye, you lose focus for a split second, and you're gonna lose a piece of your wing, and that's gonna cost you in performance here, especially in the last sector. Yeah, I can speak from experience. Yesterday, I was doing some practice races with Ho Chi, and something happened up ahead, and he had to back off, and I was just like right behind him, and I pretty much went right into the back of him. So it's one of those areas of the circuit where, if incidents do happen, it's like you have no time to react there. If you nail it perfectly, but nailing it perfectly means running it within millimeters of the wall. If you want to win, yes. Yeah, so I'm wondering what we're gonna see here in the battle for the front, because I definitely think Tiny Darth showed incredible pace last weekend. Um, NAFTA is always quick. Steinmine is always quick as well. We know Canino has pace. Domingos obviously has pace as well, and then up there as well is Nico John in the other racing point, and he's actually even on points with Domingos. So he's showing his pace as well. I mean, what do you think? Who do you think has the best shot at taking this thing? Okay, right. It'll start to come out during the qualifying session. One person who really made a big impression on everybody was Tiny Darth. So there was his debut race, his first race in the Alfa Romeo, and he took it from start to finish. Now NAFTA was right behind him, so he was giving him a good challenge. But even with all the pressure, he kept it consistent. He didn't make mistakes, and later on in the race, he was able to build up that gap again. But it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. And and Canino had the fastest lap. Now keep in mind that he part of that as well is that he took an extra pit stop because he had a big gap behind him. So it was something that not everyone was able to do. But at the same time, that doesn't take anything away from Canino because we know that he can be quick as well. All right, let's see. Die and Stein. Steinmine. He said, "Is it just me because I can't hear Stein's up?" Let me see this thing. I'm gonna double check that. Yeah, Stein's up. Can't hear you on the broadcast. Hold the PlayStation button and then go to party and then go to where it says go to party screen. Yeah, yeah, party settings, and then allow your voice to be shared. Got it? All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna double check real quick.
Check. Should be fixed now. Die ene stijl.
I think that's better. Can you say something?
Oh, sorry, I was still in the PlayStation menu, but I'm back now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they can hear you.
Alright, cool. On who are we waiting right now?
I'm not sure. I think they're. Who are they waiting on? I think they're waiting on CPA or Feeman, but at this point they're like, the intention was to get out on track about 12 minutes ago.
Countdown is starting.
Yep.
Here we go.
I'm so eager to see this qualifying session now. Yeah, I'm also looking at this track map, and I'm just thinking, normally you want to say, oh, this part of the circuit is, so important for lap time, or, this sector or that sector. But
Yeah.
here, it's like every little section of the track, every corner is so important.
Well, especially after the, let's see, after turn 9. It's the last turn before the big straight.
Oh yeah,
It's really important you get a good exit out of it.
100%. And it's interesting because that roundabout that you start at turn 6 and then another 90-degree turn at turn 7, which takes you to 8, which is what I would consider to be like the roundabout almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't attack it too much mid corner. You have to because you have to set yourself up to be there on the exit, and it takes a lot of patience, especially when you have someone breathing down the back of your neck.
You need to try to get a late apex for that.
Right.
And then just nail throttle when you get a
Right.
car straight.
Right. And that can literally be the difference between gaining you half a second or losing half a second on the straightaway alone.
Yeah.
All right, so who's the first
Especially
person?
in race conditions, because that's one of the big overtake sections. So you really want to hit that spot always.
That and that hairpin at the end of that straightaway in that heavy braking section for what turn is that? Turn 11. It's so tricky because look, we know that's probably the best turn for overtaking on this whole circuit, but at the same time, it's so hard to go through that corner side by side because it's very narrow. So we're gonna see some bumping, we're gonna see some banging, we're gonna see some action, and I think as long as the guys, don't put each other into the wall, it should be, fair, and it's gonna make for some great action. I'm excited.
It's really about trying to avoid your front wing as well.
Right.
Because that will gain you a lot of time compared to the rest that would damage.
100%.
Well, we already got some drivers out.
Sam, well, I'm going to go on board with Football Beast. It looks like he's a newer recruit, so to speak, here for the reserves. But this is that last sector that we were talking about, and you can see here that the track limits are pretty much walls, so you can't put a foot wrong there. But as difficult as this sector is, it's incredibly rewarding when you really get a good flow on it.
When you carry the speed through the corners.
Right. When you nail the apexes, when you nail the exits. And anyone that will be on pole today will be experiencing that firsthand today. So we'll see who gets on pole here as Football Beast starts his hot lap. And he's on mediums. So speaking of mediums, and we see so many others on softs, what do you think is going to be the strategy today? What have you been seeing in your testing?
It's really difficult to tell because I would try to go for like soft medium, get a good result in qualifying, and I reckon there will be a safety car along the way, so you might try to gamble for an aggressive tire setup.
Right.
That's what I would go for.
But I would agree with you there in terms of track position being so key here because the overtaking is difficult.
Yeah.
Just get yourself up there in terms of the track position up the field, because even if your tires do wear out, you gotta think about how 6, 7, 8 laps down the line you're already gonna have built up a gap to the people behind you. Hopefully not too big so that you come out right behind them in the pit stops, but typically you'll have a little bit of a gap to have some clear air. So even if you do have to pit that extra time or whatever the case may be, you can still make your way back through the field with the faster tire.
Yeah, and also when you the big downside for doing an aggressive tire setup, this track especially, is you don't want to run out too wide because you will be punished straight away.
Right. Right.
That's the downside of
right. But that's the one stop as well, because with the one stop you're having to stretch those tires. I do feel that you typically are going to feel the wear more. So Football Beast crosses the line, Vapor crosses the line, and Vapor put in a 137.8, but Keneal puts in a 136.5. So he's flying. And I'm going to go down the order here to see who else is out here. So NAFTA actually is coming around the last corner. He's crossing the line, and he puts it into 4th. So that's a 141.
I reckon that's not his best lap.
No, he'll be looking to get set up again. That's definitely not his best. Now we're on board with Rusty. He's coming around the final corner on the run down to the straight, and he puts in a 139.087, so he's in 4th.
I reckon he can still do better.
So now we're on board with Domingos and Steinmein just ahead of him. Steinmein starts his hot lap. Domingos puts in a 143.1. And I think he may have been obstructed a little bit by Steinmein. Steinmein was just starting his hot lap. I wonder why that may have happened, but well, we're on board with Nero. Nero looks like he has invalidated his lap, so that one's not going to count. So now he's going to start another hot lap. Now we're on board with Yuppie.
A lot of drivers here.
Yuppie's crossed. Yep, Yuppie's crossing the line. No, he's starting his hot lap, rather. And now we're on board with NAFTA again. He's coming around the final corner. He's in 8th. He's going to want to improve here. Oh, but he does hit the wall there. But he still improves, so he's in 4th place with a 138.1. That puts it into P3 with the 137.8. No, P4, because Vapor just...
Vapor,
yeah, put it into P3.
Really close together.
Very, very close. What, 11 hundredths of a second? No, 11 thousandths of a second. Very, very close stuff there. As Rusty jumps into the pits. And it looks like Steinmein is on a hot lap, and Domingos as well. So we're on board with Steinmein. He's trying to put in a time on those medium tires. He crosses the line into 6th. Domingos improves into 7th, just behind. So Tiny starts his hot lap. Tiny, who showed incredible pace last weekend, hasn't set a time quite just yet. I'm not sure what may have happened there. And Nero just puts it into P3 in the Williams, so 137.554 for Nero. But we're still on board here with Tiny. And Yuppie crosses the line. He puts it into P6. So it looks like Daly just started his hot lap. Also just starts his hot lap.
I think Tiny just got a group sector.
Oh, and Mac as well. 007 Mac just put it into 137.174 into P2. So everything's taking shape now. Oh, and Tiny invalidates his lap. And that hairpin.
I think he just ran a little bit right.
Yeah, now we'll go on board with Milk Laren, with Boko. He's in Sector 3. Oh, but this is his outlap. As Nico John also starts his hot lap. Who is that behind Boko? I think that might be Vapor. Who was that?
Scorpio and Neron.
Oh,
Incident.
I wonder what happened there.
I think Scorpio was on his past lap and Neron on his in lap. Scorpio banked.
It's so easy to do here because there's not a whole lot of room. So who is on a hot lap? Daily Dose of Death is on a hot lap. So we're on board with Milk Laren. And Nico John ahead of him, actually. He's coming around the second to last corner. Nico John, who's showed a lot of pace, hasn't put in a time yet. We'll see where he places it when he crosses the line. He puts it into P3, so 137.396. We'll go down to Milk Laren again. And I think Vapor is just behind him. Yeah. So Boko, he crosses the line, and he's into P12 with the 139.442. I think Vapor improved his time, because unless I'm mistaken, I didn't. Was he P2 already?
No, I think he improved it.
Yeah, I think he did improve his time. Yeah, because Nico John was a P3, but not any longer. So we're on board now with Naphtha. Naphtha just starting his lap. Naphtha, who also has incredible pace, and he showed it last weekend. He was right behind Tiny pretty much the whole race. He knows he can go faster. He will be pushing. Now the thing to see here will be, does he keep the car in line? Is he not gonna let the pressure get to him? Otherwise he's gonna push too hard and lose time.
That's a good exit.
Yeah, he does have a good exit there. You know, I was talking to Naphtha earlier, and he kept saying that he's not very strong here, but I know he's been practicing on the circuit. We know he's got pace. He brakes perfectly for the hairpin.
Also good here.
Oh, he does touch the wall.
I think he should be okay.
He should be all right. A touch wide in some of these. Yeah. Let's see where he places the car. Into P3, so 137.1. So, were you able to confirm that he had wing damage?
I'm not confirmed, but judging from his car,
it looked like it, right?
Yeah.
And Dab is on the main straight, but had invalidated that lap, so that's not going to count. So we're on board now with Domingos. Domingos is starting the hot lap, taking it nice and easy before he punches the throttle here.
I think Tiny is finishing his last lap of round.
All right.
Oh, and went a little bit wide.
So we'll go on board with Tiny. He's in sector 3. He's finishing up the S's. He's heading to the second to last corner. He gets around that cleanly. In the final corner, nice and easy on the throttle. He puts it into P2. He puts it into P2, about half a tenth behind Canino. So this is going to be a close battle. And then not much farther behind is Vapor, who's showing incredible pace here.
It's really comfortable in the first 3 positions.
Yeah, even down into P4. It's only a little bit farther back.
Mac as well.
Yeah.
Trailing behind his wise.
This grid is really turning out to be a close battle. Yeah, I'm on board with Oso. He puts it into P17, so 139.7. Daily Dose of Death is starting a hot lap. Deb finishing this lap. Put it into P7 with the 137.4, but these tires are already now 4 laps old. So it does seem like that's going to compromise Deb's race, but we'll see what they can figure out in the race. And Yeppy crosses the line. Yeah, Yeppy crosses the line to P5, 137.163. And so Rusty's coming around the final corner on the main straight, crosses the line, 139.087, P13. Vapor just crossed the line but doesn't improve. Or no, Vapor started this hot lap. Oh, and Boko had gone off there. Boko went off in that turn 1 complex. I think technically it was turn 2 and 3. So Rusty, yeah, Rusty, oh, they're both on hot laps. So this is where it starts to get tricky, because you've got to do better than that. If you're Vapor, if you know that there's a car in front that you have better pace than, you've got to slow down on your outlap and just give him plenty of time to get way up ahead. But the problem is he probably had people behind him, somewhat behind him, so he couldn't wait too long. Yeah, I think he lost a little bit of time, but it is what it is. He's got to keep going.
Kept going, kept proposing.
Right. And we know how that those mix-ups in the qualifying in terms of the traffic can really affect even the real races. When we had it last year in Monza, where I think Mercedes wasn't even able to put in their final hot laps. Oh, and Vapor hits the wall. I don't think he's going to improve here. He doesn't.
P3 is so good.
It's not a bad place to start the race. So Naphtha started his final hot lap, so this is going to be his last run. We're going to stay on board with Naphtha because I think he has a chance to snatch the pole here. as it looks like a Haas and a Williams jump into the pits. I think Daily Dose of Death is coming around the second to last corner.
Have to have some clear air.
He does. And he'll be pushing like he knows he can. This is it. He knows he can grab the pole here. Late on the brakes. Gets it turned in nicely. He does get the purple sector too, so he's flying right now. You can see that the track is ramping up. Nice and neat through there. This looked a lot better than his last attempt.
Does it look cleaner?
It does. It looks like he might have had that wing damage, like you mentioned.
Final turn. It's clean.
Wow, 136.3. Wow, that's a pole lap, everybody. Got to give it up to Dafter for that. The pressure was on. Okay, now we're on board with Scorpio. So he's in P15. Scorpio, who's been pretty consistent throughout. It actually looks like 8th in the standings right now in the Drivers' Championship. He wants to get... Oh, and he jumps into the pits. Also jumps into the pits. Dab into the pits.
Steinmeier is going hard, I think.
Hochi is still... Yep, he'll finish his lap. I think it's just Hochi and Steinmeier. And Hochi puts it into P13 with the 138.5. Steinmeier jumps into the pits. He had invalidated his lap. Nico jumps into the pits. .007 Mac already finished. I think that's everybody. I think this is going to be our running order.
Not our grid. He won from NAFTA. Impressive. And Canino had a really fast lap at the start of the qualifying session. Just in the last moment he got passed by NAFTA. P3 for Tiny. P4 Vapor. Close behind Tiny. P5 for Nico. Just following behind Whitby. 127.1. And also 127.1 for Mac. Really close. P8 Domingo. P9 Depth. P10 Neron. P11 Football Beast. P12 Steinmeier. P13 Ochi. P14 Rusty. P15 Milk Laren. P16 Scorpio.
Yep.
And my screen faded out.
Yeah, I can take it from there. So you got Scorpio in P16, and it's Oso and the Haas in P17, and Daily Dose of Death in P18. So none of the front runners make it with the gamble on the medium tire. Steinmeier puts it into P12 on the medium, but wouldn't matter there because anyone outside the top 10 gets to start on whatever tire they wish. But the top 9 cars are all within a second.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting for the
So that's,
first few laps. And hopefully no one causes a crash or incident.
I think they would have gone over that in the driver's meeting this morning, but you know, it doesn't matter how many times you go over it, right? If you see an inch, you're going to go for it. You're going to try to take it,
Yeah.
and It is a tight corner, so we're going to see. I think we're set for a very, very exciting race here. It's going to be full of action. It's going to be full of craziness. You're going to
I
want to
think
stay
Canino
tuned.
wants his P1 straight away back.
Canino is going to have a chip on his shoulder, especially after Bahrain, because he would have been right there with the battle for the front. But he made a mistake, a costly mistake, and he had to drive through the pack. He was able to fight back into P3, but he knows he can do better.
This is redemption.
This will be his chance, but also for NAFTA, because NAFTA wasn't able to take back the lead last weekend from Tiny, who put in just an amazing performance. So now they're coming out in the formation lap. They'll want to get those tires up to temperature. They'll want to start focusing on what they need to do for the race start to make sure that they get the best reaction possible. And it's good to see Ferrari fighting at the front, on the front row. I'm so anxious for the race start already.
In my experience, the first few turns are really hard to drive clean. Quite narrows.
It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult. The guys have to know that through the first corner, at least, and probably into the second and third, that they've got to give each other a little bit more space than they normally would. When you're making an overtake, you want to give enough space without being too polite, but it's got to be a little bit elbows out, but still giving room at the start. But we're going to see what happens. I think the guys will know, but how it always goes, you may have a plan, and then everything starts happening, and everything is going crazy, and mistakes can happen.
This race setting a mood. Not wanting to let anyone pass them.
Right. So now they're making their approach again to the starting grid. NAFTA in the Mercedes, Canino just behind him in the Ferrari. Tiny in the Alfa Romeo. Tiny, the new addition to the league, showing tremendous pace. Vapor, who has shown tremendous improvement in his pace. He's starting on the second row, and as we see that, the predicted pit stop strategies that popped up here. So we'll see. I think some people may try the one-stopper, but I think the majority of people will be on a two-stop strategy today.
Yeah. There are some guys on the hard tires timeline. Scorpio.
We'll see what they can put together with that run. So the lights are on at the grid. We'll see who gets the best jump. And they're off. NAFTA got a pretty good jump. Canino got a pretty good jump. And Tiny got a pretty good jump as well. They're 3 wide into turn 1. And somehow they make it through clean, but NAFTA falls into P3. We're on board with 007 Mac. He's in 4th place behind Canino, NAFTA, and Tiny. On board with NAFTA, he's just behind Canino on this straightaway. That is very unlucky for NAFTA, who started in P1 and now he's sitting in P3, and a virtual safety car is down.
Oh.
And Vapor.
And Lukács, I'm not sure if my leaderboard is right, but Lukács Steinlein gained 6 positions.
Incredible for Steinlein.
Yeah. He's
On the hard tires. So
yeah.
He's in a great position for the race because he can go at what, to like lap 17, 15, 17?
Yeah, top P1. Long race.
But But Vapor, you know, Vapor, he was in 4th place. He did, he went off.
I missed it.
As Deb has a collision with Pochi under safety car, so both drivers then will have a 5-second penalty. So now we're on board with Nico John, as everyone is back to green flag racing by now. So Nico John is in 5th place in the Racing Point, just behind 007 Mac, as Tiny Darth puts in the fastest lap of 150.4.
People went into the pits. There was some damage. Gucci has to wait for his teammate for Baptiste, or who's the further?
Yeah, so Tiny's still ahead here. Even though the leaderboard is kind of bugging out. Yeah, Tiny's ahead, with Canino just behind. They're on the back straight. He will not have DRS quite just yet. He's going to be using up as much as possible here to stay with them. He's going to go for the overtake here. But Tiny, you can see Tiny has responded. He's hit the overtake. He's defending. And Canino smartly backs off a bit. Yeah, he's really pushing. This is going to be quite the battle. NAFTA's got to keep pushing himself as Canino gets the fastest sector 2. And he will be feeling the effects of the dirty air, so he backs off a bit. And him backing off has put him right back into the clutches of NAFTA, who was about 1.5 seconds back, and now he's about 1 second behind. I'll go back now to Yuppie, because Yuppie is 4/10 behind Nero. This is the battle for P6. So Yuppie in the Mercedes, Nero in the Williams.
Bingo is just overtaking Steinmeier. Straight.
Yep, Domingo's got him on the straightaway. He locks up. He lost a little bit of time, but he's going to be able to hold on to that. And we'll go back now on the straightaway with Canino and NAFTA. They've got DRS, but they're not close enough. Canino gets a little bit sideways there. Now we're on. It looks like Yuppie had tried to move on Nero, but wasn't able to make it stick. Great heads-up driving by the both of them to avoid contact. It's a long race, so make your moves, but no reason to crash out this early. 007 Mac is in P5 just behind Nico John. He's going for it. He breaks late as can be. He's on the outside, and he gets squeezed out a little bit by Nico John, but fair play. Oh, and Nero got turned around in the hairpin. So Nero, who was up in the positions, is now back down to P9. As Domingos gets sideways there. Steinmeier just behind him. Yeah, into P8. He was in P6. Oh, and he jumps into the pits. So, I wonder if he had damage. We're on board now with 007 Mech just behind Nico John into turn 1. Nico John gets it all kinds of wrong there. But he holds on. Now we're back on board with NAFTA. He's in P3 on that first straightaway behind Canino. Canino's dropped back a bit from Tiny. And this is playing out nicely for NAFTA.
Davey Dose tried to go for P11. His judge is breaking up. Right.
Yeah, but now he's falling back about 2 seconds behind, so Scorpion now is getting away. 007 Mac on the back straightaway, just behind Nico John. He's going to get the DRS. He gets by him on the straight. And he makes the overtake. It's a nice move by 007 Mac.
The task for Nico John is to keep behind him and get in the next DRS.
He's got to stay with him. He's got to stay with him. And he's staying with him nicely here. Looks like it's cleared up, yeah. I wonder what happened there. So NAFTA is staying within just about a second of Canino. Canino also within a second of Tiny.
There's also a battle going on for P7.
Yep. Rusty in P8, just behind Domingos. Rusty's another one who's shown tremendous improvement. He does. Rusty was patient, and he got the move done. Great driving by Rusty. Steinmine just put in the fastest Sector 3. He's on brand new soft tires. Nero gets by Domingos on the back straight. Great move by Nero. Domingos trying to regain the position, breaks way too late, and Nero's off. Nico John now in P5, we're on board with him, behind 007 Mac. And he's close, but not close enough to make a move. A lot of action going on. We're on board with Steinmine. He's behind Daly Dose of Death on the back straight. He's got the DRS, so does Daly. Daly goes to cover the inside. Steinmine goes on the outside. And he gets by.
Does the next start have a bet already? Scorpio?
Yeah. You'll wonder then if they have, Red Bull team orders there. They're on different strategies. Christian Horner would have been all over the radio. So now we're back on board with NAFTA. As they get through turn. What do you see?
Well, Tiny Darth must say leads again. 3 seconds already.
Well, what's happening now, yeah, is that NAFTA's making a move on Canino on the outside. They break late. And he doesn't quite have it there. Yeah, doesn't quite have it there, but Tiny will, and Steinmine just puts in the fastest lap, but Tiny will be seeing all this stuff happening in his rearview mirror, and he'll be delighted.
He had a good start, but then he got ring damage, I reckon.
Who, Steinmine?
Yeah, Steinmine.
Yeah, as Domingos gets past Rusty in the roundabout. So nice driving by Domingos. Great move by Domingos there. Not exactly a traditional overtaking spot, but he saw an opening. He went for it, and he made it stick. Nice, a nice move by Steinmine. He's making his way up the field. A drive very reminiscent of like an Albon type drive. Something goes wrong first lap. Goes for a pit stop, and now he's on a different strategy. Looks like Deb has gotten past Daly Dose of Death as well. So something must be happening with Daly, because he just lost. Yep, Daly went off. Daly went off in the roundabout. Yeah. As Nico John gets past 007 Mac. So Nico John back up to P4. Just like he's... Oh, and he touches the curb and he goes wide and he goes into the wall.
He's too aggressive on the curb.
Too aggressive there. Yuppie now is behind 007 Mac. This is the battle for P4. And who's going to blink first here? Who's going to get on the throttle quickest? 007 Mac got a great exit. But Yuppie is not far behind. He's about 7 tenths behind, 8 tenths behind. The DRS is powerful here.
Just to try for the next lap.
Yeah, and Scorpio had gone into the pits, so Scorpio's into the pits onto another soft tire. So we're going to stay on board here with Yuppie for a bit. He's 8 tenths behind the 07 Mac in the battle for P4. Oh no, 07 Mac jumps into the pits.
Quite early, I think.
Yeah, pretty early. So we'll see what Yuppie does here. You'll imagine that he'll want to respond on this next lap.
Tiny goes into the pit as well. Hearts.
Tiny's going to the hard, so he's doing the one-stopper. He's going to try to go, what is that, 21 laps on the hards.
Will be hard.
So he comes back out into P4. Nico John is also in the pits. So Nico John onto the medium tires. Let's go. We're back on board with NAFTA. He's in the Mercedes. He's in P2. Just behind Canino. They haven't pitted just yet. I imagine it won't be long before they do go in for a pit. Yeah, well, NAFTA is in a position where he can respond to whatever Canino does or doesn't do. If Canino stays out, he can jump into the pits and try the undercut. If Canino goes in, he can turn up his engine mode to max power and try for the overcut. We'll see what happens here. I think so. Yeah, then they both go in. Yuppie just behind them as well, jumps in. Yeah, Tiny back up in P1. As we're on board now with Domingos. Domingos is in P7 just behind 07 Mac, and he's jumping into the pits. So it's Steinmine, who was just behind Rusty, but Rusty jumps into the pits. So
some people are going for the mediums. Canino, NAFTA, Mac.
yeah, well, it looks like they're committed to a two-stopper. Now, I wonder what the final stint will be, if it does end up being a soft or a medium. I would imagine it depends on how long they can stretch. Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Nico John, Joseph Naronji.
Yeah. He's got the DRS. He's making the pass on Nero. Oh. He tried to brake so late, and it didn't work out. So he's going to cycle in behind Nero. And now he's... Yeah, he lost the DRS. That puts him in the clutches of Football Beast behind him. But Domingos is just behind him. So Domingos on the back straight, just behind Football Beast in the AlphaTauri. Domingos in the racing point. He's got the DRS.
Doesn't have the speed though.
No, he doesn't quite get there. He'll be eyeing up a move though. If he can stay with him. So now I'm so... Not quite just yet. Yeah. But I think personally that if there is going to be a risk for the safety car, it's going to be when the tires are pretty worn. So I think we're going to start to see now that people are going to stretch their second stint, or for some that are doing the one-stopper that are going to stretch their last stint. a lot of tire wear, and that's, I think, when mistakes start to happen. So we'll see. Don't count that out just quite just yet. Yeah, he does. He's in control at the moment. But Canino is chipping away into that lead. Canino is chipping away into that lead, though. I say that, and then he lost some time.
Domingo is going for overtake soon.
Yeah, we're on board with Domingo. Oh, and looks like football is weaving a little bit, but it gives him room.
He's on the
old tires, huh?
Tires.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Domingo gets his done, so flies by him with the DRS. He's into P9. Seems like football is going to be going into the pit soon. He's got to get off those old soft tires. They don't look to have much grip left.
Some action going on in the rear of the race. Vapor and Scorpio.
Yeah, we'll go on board with Vapor.
Scorpio, other good exit.
Yeah, but Vapor's got the DRS.
Will it be enough?
We're going to find out.
Be tight.
And he looks up the inside. Oh, and he goes for it.
Almost makes it.
Puts it wide on the exit, and Scorpio gets by him. Great driving from Scorpio.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does pay off to hold back and be patient. And Vapor is all over the back of him. You can tell that he's frustrated.
But he keeps calm. Doesn't try to do anything risky.
Nope. Oh, and he does hit the wall. He does hit the wall. So it looks. I was going to say it looks like he kept his wing, but no, he lost his end plate. So now he'll be losing in performance, and Scorpio will have seen that in the rearview mirror. And he'll hold on to the position for now. Yeah, and Domingo now has caught up to the back of Nico John, so both racing points in the top 10.
They're on similar strategies.
Yep, as Domingos just puts in the fastest sector 2. So Domingos showing the quickest pace so far today in that sector, so he's coming alive now. So Racing Point looks like they're going to be scoring great points today, and Racing Point, you know, they're actually leading the standings in the Constructor Championship. So they've got 76 points compared to Red Bull's 48. So Steinmann's in a great position to score a lot of points today, but Scorpio is a bit further down the order, so we'll see how that turns out in terms of the championship standing. He does need to pit. But Scorpio is farther behind, but I think he had pit somewhat recently. So Domingos, they're coming around the roundabout to the back straight. He's 5 tenths behind his teammate. He's gonna get the DRS here.
Should be able to make it now.
It should be pretty straightforward. He's jumping down the inside. He's braking late. He does run wide. Yep, and Nico John gets by him again. Yep. That braking section zone of the hairpin there, it's a challenge because it's almost like the corner is inviting you to brake as late as possible, but you can't brake too late. Yeah. So now we're on board with Deb. Deb is in P15, just behind Scorpio in P14. Deb showed really good pace in qualifying. Oh, And oh, into the wall.
There goes his race.
There goes the race. So
Still in.
that's unfortunate. Yeah, he loses a wing. He'll continue. But he just pitted for soft. So unless he stays out, this pit stop will have been pretty much for nothing.
Too aggressive.
Yeah. Football Beast just behind Boko. Football Beast gets passed in turn 1. Boko gives him plenty of room. We'll see if Boko can respond here on the first straightaway. Boko's got the DRS, and it looks like now Football Beast is too far ahead. About 9/10 ahead. So now we're gonna go on board with Tiny, and Tiny actually is behind Canino. So Canino got passed. I missed that as well. So I'm not sure what happened. Maybe if you can go in the race director, see if there was some kind of incident, because I'm curious myself. I completely missed it. I wonder if he hit a wall somewhere, and he did. He's missing an end plate on the right. So he must have brushed the wall somewhere. And now NAFTA, yeah, NAFTA's just behind him. So the race is getting very interesting here. Canino is getting away in the lead.
Tiny's on the hard, Tiny's on one, so he just feels frustrated that he broke his wing.
Surely he's going to have to pit again. What do you think?
He could go for the mediums and drive out.
Yeah. But I wonder where that's going to put him if he pits again, because, what is it, 20-something seconds? He's going to be in P9, P10? As NAFTA gets by.
I'm going for a two-stroker as well.
Right, that's true. That's true.
He knows his pace is faster than most of the other riders. So.
He should be able to get by. As Tiny looks to try to fight for that position back, but doesn't quite have the traction that NAFTA does at the moment. Oh, and he goes for the move. But he has to back off because he knew he was going to make contact. So heads up driving by the both of them. Can't blame him for trying to move. They knew it wasn't going to stick. Yep. I think he will be going. Yep, and he jumps into the pits. So that's unfortunate for Tiny, but just like we've been talking about all day, the margins for error here are non-existent. And NAFTA then is 2 seconds behind Canino. This is the battle for the lead. Neither one has a tire advantage. They're on exactly the same length of stint so far on their tires, the medium tires. But there is some traffic ahead. It's P16 and P17 fighting it out. How they get through this traffic can determine the race win.
I think this will be an exciting final or battle.
Yeah, because we know that Tiny is going to be farther back. But Tiny actually went for the soft tires, and he gets a 3-second penalty. So Tiny is going to have to pit again.
Oh, he can make it maybe. He has to really
14, 15 laps.
care for his tires.
I don't know, man. you love stretching out these stints, don't you?
Yeah. But I think you can do like 11 okay laps. Maybe slow down.
And so Tiny gets by Nico on the back straight.
Going for a sprint.
Yeah, he's giving it full attack. Full attack. And you can see he has a yellow indicator for his fuel. I believe that means that he's in rich mode. He doesn't have enough to the end. So he'll have to manage that his fuel later on in the race. But for now, he's giving it everything, trying to get ahead of these guys in front of him.
It's very risky for him because you probably want to lose the ring again.
No, but he doesn't have much of a choice if he wants to get through the field. He's got to take the positions, and then he'll be able to throw his engine mode into lean mix through the through the winding corners. and he should be able to keep ahead with the effect of the dirty air. But it's going to be tough because it's not simple to manage these engine modes when you're flying through the corners.
TSP5 already?
Yeah.
Some guys went onto the pits.
Yep.
It's interesting to see P3 he's on the hard tires.
So Yeppy can...
Might be a surprise today.
And someone has gone off. Who's that? It looks like Daily Dose of Death, who was fighting with Deb for P16, has gone off. So Canino's been able to drive away a bit from NAFTA.
Half a second in 2 laps.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more now.
So what'll be interesting to see is how this gap to...
Tiny loses his ring.
Oh, he went into the back of Nero.
Yeah.
Oh, so again, he knows that his grip is far superior to any other car at the moment, based on him being on the soft tire. He was over-ambitious there.
It's the turn 11 braking zone. It's very hard to overtake there.
And yeah, the issue is, even if you know you can outbrake somebody else, if by the time you see them braking and decelerating, that by the time you hit the brakes, you're going to go into the back of them. The speed there is just so great. So I'm monitoring this gap as Tiny jumped into the pits. So I wonder what tires will go on. I would imagine he's going to go on, well, at this point, maybe another soft. No, he's on the medium tire now. Yeah, he's on the medium tire now. So the gap now to Yuppie, though, because if Yuppie, he's 13.8 seconds back, almost 16 seconds back to the lead. If he can keep this gap, if he can maintain this pace, he can actually be in the lead when Canino and NAFTA pit.
Yeah, especially if after Canino will try to battle it.
Right.
Few people be
So,
by that.
yeah, this is playing out nicely for Yuppie. This is the advantage of the clear air, where you're not losing time having to go through these corners side by side, where you have your max downforce. As McLaren, yeah, McLaren.
He spins.
Oh.
Oh, and it's an incident.
Yeah.
Looking at it, Steinmeier tried to overtake Nico.
And they touched. They touched.
Yeah, Nico was Steinmeier spun, gave too much room on the curb, and then he hit Nico. Nico broke his ring as well.
Yeah, I see it at the front left. But Nico, I would imagine he's going to keep going until he gets onto this next tire. But no, he's jumping into the pit straight away because he knows he's losing time. Yeah, he can go onto the softs. Unfortunate for Stein, unfortunate for Nico. Stein looks like his car's intact, so he'll be able to keep going. He lost time, but he's still in P5.
Gap between Canino and NAFTA still 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Close.
and Yuppie is staying within striking distance.
Yeah.
Because his gap to
He has a
Canino,
really good chance.
he's doing really good on this soft tire, or the hard tire. So he was about 16 seconds behind. He's actually cut into that. So now he's about 15 seconds behind, and he's still cutting into that. So you can see that the tire wear is starting to show for Canino and NAFTA. Long stint on those medium tires, and where they had more grip even just a few laps to go, it's starting to equalize between that medium and the hard, because the hards are going to last that much longer.
Not sure how long the pit stop will take, but
I think,
Canino and NAFTA has to hit.
yeah, I think it's at least 20 seconds.
He has to really try to
Yeah,
make it through.
yeah.
NAFTA is really closing the line.
He is. He's catching the back of that slipstream now. It's keeping him within striking distance. Canino gets a little bit sideways there. As Deb gets a penalty, 3-second time penalty for track limits. So NAF is getting closer, but at the moment still not quite close enough to get within DRS range.
It's protection now, and he gets DRS.
Yeah. Canino's line is much better too there, and as a result, you can see he gets away. So nice drive from Canino. Consistent. Tiny's into the pits again. So,
He's really frustrated right
yeah. So another wing change by Tiny. Not working out for Tiny.
now. And it's a battle for P3 going on.
Yeah, Nero is just behind Yuppie. So very nice pace by Nero to catch up to Yuppie. Although the Nero on these 9-lap-old mediums, they're not going to have as much grip.
And maybe a time.
Oh, and Vapor spun. Vapor spun going into the last sector. So that's unfortunate for Vapor because
Oh, he got his right now.
who Vapor? Oh man,
Paper, yeah.
the Nero jumps into the pits. Nero's gonna get onto the soft tire. Canino's in the pits. He's on the soft tire.
Good timing.
Yes,
Good
great
reset.
timing. Canino, I would imagine, will benefit greatly from this.
Rafa's still out, so.
So they're back to green flag. Yeah, and now Canino is only 3.4 seconds behind Yuppie. He would have been farther back if it wasn't for the safety car, the virtual safety car. So now Nap is going to fall way back to the order when he pits, as Nico John gets a 3-second penalty. Rusty went off on the entry to the S's in the last sector, and now Scorpio is right behind him. Oso's in the pits. He's on the medium tire. He's going to go to the end. Domingos is still behind Nico John.
Will he go for it?
He's not close enough. Although it looked like he might have been able to make a move there, actually. These soft tires have so much grip at the end of the race.
Look at Canino, he's close to overtaking Yuppie already.
Yep. And Nafta's in the pits. He's coming out of the pits. But he's going to cycle into P4. So now I
It's a
wonder...
good choice by Canino to
Yeah.
go into the pits.
It's worked out perfectly for him. Because now he's on the soft tire, the much faster tire. He's right behind Yuppie. He's got the DRS, but he's got to make a move soon because he knows that these tires are going to fall off a cliff if he doesn't get the job done quickly.
But he should pick his moment.
He should. He's got to be patient.
Force it.
He gets a little impatient there, but the tires have so much grip that he'll be all right. He's going to get the move done. He gets by him. He's got the DRS. He's going to try to get away, but he's got nothing left on the ERS. Doesn't matter. He gets the job done. Nice move by Canino. And now NAFTA is 2.3 seconds behind Yuppie, so that virtual safety car hasn't played out well for Yuppie, but he's still, he still put in a great drive today. Yeah, I see it now. Domingos just made a move on the outside, but he goes wide a bit. But he holds on to the position, and they're side by side. They're side by side. They break into the corner. They're still side by side.
Some contact.
Oh, and Nico gets a little bit loose there. He hits the wall. We'll see. No, his end plate's still intact, so he'll be able to continue. So now, nice lap by Nero. Now we're on board with NAFTA. He's in P3. Toto Wolff, I'm sure, will be all over Yuppie, telling him to get out of the way. They're on different strategies. But he almost has to, if they are doing team orders, because NAFTA's on the only tire that has a chance of catching Canino. And he's on a 1-lap pressure tire. So he's got this lap and 6 more to try to catch Canino. And Canino has...
3 seconds yet, so...
Oh, and Yuppie gets disqualified.
Wrong way.
He must have spun at some point. And in his attempt to get back on track, he's been disqualified. Very unfortunate for Yuppie.
Nico is still... Oh! What happened?
He went into the wall. He lost the right end plate.
They looked like Nico brake checked him or something. He was just right into
He let him by. There must have been a big miscommunication here. He lets him by.
Oh man.
So it's gone all wrong for Racing Point here today. They're still in the race, but they're losing time to the cars ahead. Luckily, it hasn't cost them too much time. But Tiny, he's only 4 seconds behind. Yeah, you can see how slow they are through the S's. They're being compromised tremendously. So Nico's going to continue. Yeah, Nico, his wing is fine. It's Domingos who's had damage.
Evolving for P3.
Yeah, I'm on board as Neo. He gets a little bit sideways there, but he's trying to hang on to the back of Steinmine. Steinmine, who has tremendous pace. We're seeing it right now. He's on 7-lap old medium tires, but it doesn't matter to him because he's going to keep pushing. He's an incredibly quick driver. This is the Steinmine that we knew we would be seeing, assuming that he had a race that was going to fall into place for him.
He's up against soft tires that are much more pressure than his yellow tires.
Yes, although in 4 or 5 laps time, these soft tires are going to start falling off. So
but there's only 5 laps left.
That's true. I think if Steinmine can stay ahead even just another 2 laps or so, the balance of across the different tires are going to start to equalize a little bit. Although those mediums are starting to get pretty old.
Yes, we intend this 1 second gap at least to avoid the DRS zone.
Yeah, and NAFTA, who is on pressure tires than Canino, is Canino's getting away a bit. So he's built up the lead from 3 seconds to 3.6, 3.5. And Tiny is gaining on Nico. So Tiny could still be getting some good points here today.
He had so much incidents.
Yeah, I think he put in a new wing 2 times, 3 times.
Maybe 3 times.
Yeah. That might be a record. Yeah. Very, very good. Nero got the DRS on, or didn't get the DRS, but he got the slipstream of Steinmine, but he's not close enough. As it looks like the lead to NAFTA, Canino's lead to NAFTA growing still. Now it's to about 4 seconds. Nero's catching onto the back of NAFTA. Or excuse me, no, that's Steinmine. Yeah, Nero is onto the back of Steinmine. So it seems like, yeah, looks like he's gonna be able to make something happen. But he does get loose out of the second to last corner. He does need to stay calm. Can't get too anxious. He's got to be easy on the throttle.
He has to wait for after the roundabout, after turn 9.
Yeah.
That's his moment.
Yeah.
And to create a big gap between himself and Steinmine.
I think he's going to go for it. You would have thought he might have hung on a little bit, but they go in there side by side. They bang wheels. Good, clean, hard racing. He's around the outside. Up, they touch again. And he gets away. But I wonder who was ahead of who in the DRS zone. We're going to find out. Oh, Steinmine's going to get the DRS. So Steinmine's got the DRS. He's 4 tenths behind, 5 tenths behind. But he's out of ERS. He's out of ERS. And Domingos just puts in the fastest lap. So Nero, crucially, was able to stay ahead. He held on to a little bit of DRS. Steinmine trying to get the position back into 3-second time penalty. It's a great move by Nero. But he goes wide. And Steinmine's back right behind him again. So now Nero's got no overtake left. Or a little bit of overtake left. Oh, Steinmine hits the wall behind him. But he's still got his end plate.
Meanwhile, Tiny Darth is trying to catch up.
I see him, yep. We're on board with Tiny. And McLaren in P12, just behind Scorpio in P11, yeah. So we'll go on board now.
Little mistake though.
We're back on board with Steinmine. This is the battle for P3. As NAFTA is able to take out some of the lead again from Canino, but not nearly as much as he would like. He's got this lap and 2 more to go. McLaren gets past Scorpio. Nice move for P11. We're back on board with Tiny. Tiny 7 tenths behind Nico. Nico gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Scorpio on the back straight, getting back past McLaren, Bucko. Yeah. So nice lead for nice move by Scorpio there to persevere, stay with him, and get him back on the next straight. As Tiny gets past Nico John on the inside there. They're making their way around the roundabout. Oh, and Nico John jumps up the inside. Tiny sees it. And he does have the DRS. Really nice driving by both of them. They gave each other just enough space. I think Tiny's going to be able to drive away from him here. And there's a yellow flag. It looks like Scorpio lost it in the second to last corner. So now he's seconds behind McLaren. And it looks like a Ferrari lost a piece of the wing. No, he's okay. Maybe it was Tiny. I saw a red wing there on the straightaway. Oh, it's Deb, yeah. So Ferrari did lose a wing. He's down into P14. So we're on board now still with Steinmine. This is still the battle for P3. Closest battle on track at the moment.
Will be interesting with the DRS. Will you get it?
Yeah, Nero gets a great
I
exit.
think so. He doesn't get the DRS.
No, he's falling back a bit.
Last lap for Steinmine.
Yeah.
Looks like
Yeah, it doesn't really look like, yeah, NAFTA's not going to be able to catch him. I think the closest battle at the end here is going to be Steinmine and Miro for P3. We'll stay on board with them. So these guys are coming around the final corner onto the main straight. Steinmine's got the DRS.
Really close. Interesting.
So I wonder now if Steinmine makes a move on the first straight or the second straight.
Especially now, we lost some time.
But if you've got to move on the first straight, you would think you go for it, because what if you lose out time on the way to the second straight and then he's out of reach? And as we say that, Miro does get out of reach a bit. So Steinmine looks like he's starting to feel the effects of the 12-lap-old medium tires. Doesn't
He misjudged his braking valve for turn one. Lost
Yeah.
so much time there.
Yeah, Nero's getting away. So back on board with Canino. Canino has put in a great race today. It's good to see that Ferrari.
This is his advantage for the virtual safety car.
He really did. That was a massive class by Canino today. NAFTA, who before the race was joking that he's going to do very poorly here because he's not a huge fan of this track. We can see,
Pretty good.
yeah, we can see that it didn't matter. He's got great pace. The pace will always shine if it's there, and it's there with NAFTA. Miro put it in a great performance today. And we're on board with Canino as he crosses the line, and he takes the victory here. It's a great drive by Canino. Great
Nice
drive by
drive.
Canino. P2 is NAFTA. P3, Miro in the Williams. Steinmine just behind in the Red Bull P4. So Steinmine was able to claw some time back, but wasn't enough, unfortunately. But Haas is scoring some great points here. 007 Mac. He's been putting in work, and it's showing off here. P5 for Mac. Tiny recovers to P6 in the Alpha.
Impressive from Tiny. He had all his damage he had on the rings. Still only on P6.
Yeah, a million pit stops, but he's still in P6. A great pace by him. Nice recovery drive. Nico John in P7. Nice drive from Nico today. Football Beast, his debut. I believe it's his debut. He's coming across the final corner. Now he's on the run to the line. He's going to be in P8. Domingos, P9. Also, we're on board with Oso. He's in P10. This will be a dual top 10 finish for Haas. Nice points finish for the Haas team. Haas, they're actually down in 10th in the Constructors' Championship, so this will be great points for them. And he crosses the line, and that's going to do it.
Interesting result.
Very interesting race. A lot of action, a lot of overtakes.
For sure. Although I feel a bit sorry for Yuppie. He was really going good, and then he got disqualified.
Well, Yuppie and
Sure,
Tiny.
right, though.
Yuppie and Tiny. And
Tiny
Vapor.
as
Vapor, who had qualified in P4. So we saw what happens, I think, in a way where you start to get a little bit impatient and you want to push, and you start pushing a little bit over the level that you need to, where you start to make mistakes. Yuppie had gotten turned around somewhere, and on his way to get back on track, he got disqualified. Tiny made little mistakes here and there that cost him his wing.
Tiny was really cruising for a P1,
He was.
and then he made some mistakes.
He was. I think he ended up overdriving the car a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is the final order then.
Fastest lap for Domingo.
Yep. Domingos with the fastest lap of a 1:32.972. And we'll just run through the incidents real quick. I think there was a fair bit of incidents. So there may be some to be reviewed by the stewards after the race. But these are will be then the unofficial results here for round 3, the Vietnam Grand Prix. This is the Tier 2 development race, but thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you Steinmine for joining. Or Steinmine, excuse me, Steinzap for joining. I'm getting all mixed up. Too many Dutch people now in the league. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
And that's gonna be a wrap. So thanks everyone for tuning in today.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, tomorrow, stay tuned. Tomorrow is going to be the Tier 1 race in Tier 1. We will also be doing round 3 at Vietnam. That's going to be at 12:45 Eastern Time, 5:45 UK time. And next week as well. Next week will be round 4. So we'll end this broadcast here. Thanks everyone.